Welcome back to my channel. So this video is part 2 of my favorite brushes. A couple months ago I filmed my favorite face brushes video, and I planned on filming my favorite eye brushes video sooner than I am filming it now. But life happens, of course, and I did not get around to it till right now. So I have a ton of brushes to show you today, so I'm going to keep this intro nice and short. Now for this video, I do have 4 different categories of brushes that I'm going to split this up into. The first category is going to be blending brushes. 99% of the brushes I show in this video are just freshly washed as of like a half hour ago, so some of them are going to look a little bit fluffier than they really are when they're actually dry. One of my favorite blending brushes is the Sonia Kashuk 109, and this is actually a dupe for the Sigma E40. This is a very, very good blending brush. It's very fluffy. It is synthetic. As you can see, it does have black hair. Most brushes that have black hair are synthetic, excluding NARS specifically, but most brushes that you come across that have black hair are going to be synthetic, and this is one of my favorite synthetic blending brushes. This is $5.99 at Target, and I got 2 of them. I find them to be very soft, very dense, yet fluffy. So this is very good for blending out eyeshadow in that crease. Another one of my favorite blending brushes is the Morphe M33, and just like the Sonia Kashuk brush, I do have 2 of these, and these are goat hair brushes. It's hair from the belly of a goat, and like I mentioned, they are a little fluffier than when they're dry because they are just freshly washed. So when they're dry, they're skinnier this way. This brush is a dupe for the MAC 217. The MAC 217 is exactly like this, except it is $24, and this is only $5.99 at Morphe. Last time I went to Morphe Brushes, I spent about $90 and I got 12 brushes. So that tells you something. These brushes are very, very good quality. These brushes in particular have not shed at all. I've washed them several times since I've had them, and even when you're washing them, they don't shed at all. So definitely recommend these. 2 more blending brushes. These are both Sigma, and these are also goat hair brushes. This is the E25, and this is the E35. A lot of people say that the Sigma E25 is a dupe for the MAC 217, but it's not. It is a little bit fluffier, it's not as dense, and it's not as stiff of a brush, and so this is fluffier than the 217. So if you're looking for a dupe for that, definitely go with the Morphe brush versus the Sigma brush. And also I think the Sigma brush is like $14, so you still can't go wrong with that Morphe brush. So I definitely like this. It's just slightly fluffier than the other one, and so they're pretty much the same style of brush. They are thinner when you turn it to the side, and so it's easier to get more precisely in that crease versus the Sigma E35. I love this brush as well. It is similar to the Sonia Kashuk brush. It's just not quite as dense. It doesn't have as much hair. It is goat hair, but it's very fluffy, and so this is great for applying your first eyeshadow color in the crease because it's really going to diffuse that color and make it very soft. Another Morphe blending brush. This has quickly become one of my favorites. It is the MB24, and you can see it is a pointed brush, so this is excellent for getting precisely in that crease, and also very good for creating a cut crease. When you just tilt the brush this way and that little point gets right in the crease, it's really easy to create that very defined line in the crease. Not to mention this brush is extremely, extremely soft. The MB series of brushes, they're all completely black. They have a black handle, a black ferrule, and black bristles, and they're very sleek looking. It's very good for professional makeup artists. It just gives that professional appearance. So not to mention that the brushes feel like cashmere or something. They're really, really, really soft. So this has quickly become one of my favorite blending brushes. And this is only $5.95. Another favorite blending brush of mine is the MAC 275, and you can see this is an angled fluffy brush. It's thinner this way, and it's angled that way. When I need blended eyeshadow in a hurry, this is the brush that I go to. What I do is I take the very tip of this angled part and I stick that right in the corner, and just run it back and forth like this, and this angled part is going to keep the eyeshadow from going onto your lid, and the rest of the brush right here, that's going to blend the eyeshadow in your crease. And so this brush is also very good for beginners because you really cannot go wrong with this brush. It's pretty much one of those brushes that does the work for you. My next category of brushes is angled brushes. And it might seem kind of silly to have a whole section of this video dedicated to angled brushes, but I do wear pomade in my eyebrows a lot, and I do gel eyeliner a lot. And so if you don't have a decent angled brush, you're not going to get that nice sharp wing on your eyeliner, and you're not going to get that nice defined tail on your eyebrow. So this is definitely something that matters. Your angled brush needs to be nice and sharp. So I did mention that most of my brushes for this video are freshly cleaned. This is one that is not. This is the Sigma E65. And this is actually an eyebrow brush, but I use it for my winged eyeliner most of the time. The reason I like this brush is because it does have a very sharp angle. It is very thin. If you're trying to get a very sharp wing on your eyeliner, you want your angled brush to be nice and thin, and you also want the bristles to be stiff. If they're loosey-goosey, then you're not going to get that precise wing on your eyeliner. So this brush is all of those things. It has a sharp point, it's stiff, and it's very thin. Another high-end angle brush that I really like is the MAC 263. It's very similar to the Sigma E65 in that it is very thin this way, the bristles are stiff, and it comes to a sharp angle. However, you'll notice that the bristles on this one are wider. Like the end of the ferrule is wider this way, and you cover more surface area in that amount of time. So I like them equally. They both have the same qualities that I like, but this one I feel like you get it done a little bit more quickly than with the Sigma brush. Next up, I have a couple more Morphe brushes, and these are practically the same brush, but they have different numbers. One is the B45, and it's the same exact size as this other brush, which is the B74. The difference between these brushes is that this one has a little spoolie on the other end. The B74 is great if you are working on a client or if you're in a hurry because you have one brush for two separate purposes. These were very inexpensive as well. I don't remember the exact prices, but I will link them down below for you. That way, if you are interested in them, this will take you directly to where you can get this brush on the Morphe website. My next category of brushes is little tiny brushes. The first brush I want to show you is my Makeup Geek Outer V brush, and you can see this is a smaller brush. It's very stiff. What I like this brush for is packing color in that outer V before blending it out with a larger brush. This gets colors very precisely in that outer corner, and I also find it's very good for blending colors out on the lower lash line without getting it really smoked out and getting that color really low. My next favorite smaller size brush is the Sigma E30, and this is a pencil brush. It is goat hair. It is real hair, so this gives a very soft effect. Just like the Makeup Geek brush, this is excellent for getting color in that outer corner precisely and also blending out that lower lash line. So that covers smaller brushes that work for the outer corner, but as far as the inner corner, I have another Morphe brush, and I actually don't even know the number of this because it doesn't have anything listed on the handle. And when I went to Morphe Brushes and I bought this, even the girl that works there had to go look up the number of this brush so she knew what she needed to type into the cash register to ring me up for this. So I'm not sure exactly the name or the number of this brush, but I will find it on the Morphe website and link that down below for you. This is a very, very teeny tiny little brush, like when I show you right here compared to my eye, you can see how small it is. And it's very, very good for blending color on that inner corner. That's basically what I use this brush for. I have several brushes that are about this size, but this one is my favorite because the bristles are nice and soft. When you have really stiff bristles, you have to spend a lot of time working that color on to the inner corner. But with this being softer bristles, it's easier to just blend that out more quickly. And I take forever to get ready, so anything that's gonna cut that time down for me. And my final category of favorite eye brushes is flat brushes, and what you use these for are packing color all over the lid. If you have a bright or a dramatic or a very glittery color or even loose colors, the flatter the brush the better because it's really going to pack that color intensely on the lid and help prevent fallout. Fallout, if you don't know, is where when you're putting your eyeshadow on, it falls down onto this lower eye area. So if you have an eyeshadow that has a lot of fallout, it's really going to benefit you to use a flatter brush on the lid area. My first favorite flat brush is the Sonia Kashuk number 110, and you can see this brush is completely flat this way. There we go. So it's flat this way, and it's rounded this way. It's kind of an oval shape. So this brush is fantastic. It is synthetic hair. If you have a synthetic hair brush, I would definitely recommend a synthetic flat brush for getting that color on your lid. When we're comparing synthetic brushes with real hair brushes, think about your real hair for a second. It's probably kind of porous from heat damage, styling, dyeing it. Anything that you do to your hair is going to make it more porous. So if you're going for a dark eye, if you're going to use very dark shadows, black shadows, glittery shadows, or anything really bright, my recommendation is to definitely use a synthetic brush to get that color in the areas where you want the most concentration, because the synthetic hairs are not going to absorb excess product like a real hair brush would. So going back to the Sonia Kashuk 110 brush, this brush is synthetic and it's very flat. It's also very stiff, and so this is one of my favorite brushes for packing on glitter and dark colors onto my lid. Next up, same concept, I have the Sigma E55 brush. This is also one of my favorites for packing color onto that lid. It's not quite as flat when you turn it sideways, but it's very, very dense, and so it's not going to allow color to absorb into the brush. Finally, I have this Luxie Lush concealer brush. This is the number 211. A flat concealer brush is going to work the same way a flat eye brush does, is it's really going to pack that color on without spreading it around. It's very good for getting concentrated product in one small area. And although this is a concealer brush, it works very, very well for getting that inner eye area because it's very small, and also for packing color on that lid because it is synthetic and it's very flat and stiff. So that's it for my favorite eye brushes, you guys. I hope you found this helpful and informative. Once again, I will link every brush down below. That way, if you're interested in purchasing them or learning more about them, you can just click the link below for that specific brush, and that will take you directly to the website where you can look at them. I'm not affiliated in any way with any of the companies that I mentioned. These are just genuinely my favorite brushes, and I want to pass that information on to you. So also let me know what your favorite eye brushes are down below, because I love getting your guys' recommendations. Definitely leave that down below in the comments. Let me know what your favorite eye brushes are. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. If you were wondering what I have on my lips today, it is these two products. This is the MAC Cream Stick Automatic Lip Liner. It's in the color Beurre. And I have on top of that the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the color Lolita. So that's gonna do it, guys. Any other video requests, go ahead and just leave those in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.